financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is Bankruptcy Basics. You changed chairs.
I did.
Brian, Pat Samasco.
I'm back.
Nice to see you.
I'm back.
How did you manage to work
what?
your way into Brian Small's seat?
First I got here first, and then secondly, I had to kick my daughter Kelsey out of her chair so I can come visit with you guys, because she's been here and Joe's been coming so much. I didn't tell you, I was at the airport, and some guy walked up to me and said, "Hey, you're Kelsey Samasco's dad." He recognized her and me from the TV show.
That's great.
And my wife heard and saw the whole thing, so it was so fantastic.
Very
We're so
nice.
proud of her, and she loves being here.
So you're who?
I'll be Brian Small, but I'll just be sitting here. We gave Pat the first chair.
It's nice to see you, Brian, as well. Pat,
A pleasure
it's good
to be
have
here.
Have you back again.
Thank you.
That's good.
Love to be
Jeffrey Linden.
Good day, sir.
How are you?
I am well, thank you.
The good day thing comes from that show that I never watched. Chocolate Factory.
Yes,
Yes.
Willy Wonka and
you
the
guys,
Chocolate
you guys
Factory.
have told me about it.
7,000 times.
Yes,
The tone is important, though.
I was too old. I was too old for that.
You're never
You-
too old
you're
for
never
Willy
too old
Wonka
for
and the
the
Chocolate
Chocolate
Factory.
I like chocolate. Bankruptcy Basics. I want to start with the 3-point retirement plan, because the whole concept that when we walk through and we talk about debt elimination is to reconfigure your life so that you're on track for a decent future in retirement. And that's the simple 3-point retirement plan. Own your home free and clear. Have zero debt. Zero means no mortgage, no car payments, no credit card payments, nothing. And have some cash in the bank. Do those 3 things, you will live comfortably in retirement.
I agree 100%. Client came in this week. She owed $40,000 on her house, 3.9% interest rate, and she's getting 5% on CDs. I go, man, that's a hard one, because in the old days, CDs were paying 0, bank account was 0, pay off the thing. You can't invest the money in the stock market because it's so volatile, and don't ever let a financial advisor tell you to, hey, give me the money, don't pay off the debt, give me the money. That's a horrible idea. But with CDs...
But that's an issue.
That
It
is
always is an
interesting,
issue.
yeah.
It was
Well,
an
but
issue. It was an
remember,
issue in the market,
At
too.
5% on your CD and just about 4% on your mortgage interest, the fact is that when you earn that 5%, you're paying income tax on it. So it's really not 5%.
Really, yeah.
So it's still possibly a good idea for her to pay off her house.
We also then, if you have a bigger mortgage, then you run into the issue of, but she or he could be itemizing deductions. Here's my take on it. And then, before interest rates were high and the stock market was making 15, 20% in the market, and the people would say to me, I can get 15, 20% in the market. I got a 3% mortgage. You're telling me to pay off the mortgage?
Yes.
My philosophy, it's the KISS philosophy. Keep it simple.
I agree.
Okay. If it's simple and the moment your mortgage is paid off and you have zero debt, if you're still working, you are raking up net cash every month that goes in the bank. You can put it in your CDs, you can put it in the market, you can put it whatever you want and make a return on it, because all of a sudden you've got excess cash and you're saving a lot of money, and you have peace of mind because you know your overhead is done.
I agree.
But there is a legitimate argument that can be made for keeping the low mortgage if you have it and investing it. But the problem is that then you got discipline, you got other factors. When you retire, when you're done, and you have no income coming in other than your retirement, that's where you want no mortgage, no credit cards, no debt, no car payments. That's my theory. Okay,
I
now
completely agree with you.
how do we get there? The goal. How do we eliminate the debt at the least cost in the fastest possible manner?
Don't incur it in the first place.
Fine. Fine.
That's
Buy
the
it.
That
fastest.
sounds like Brian.
I know how.
That's
Buy
all
a
about. That's another show when we're going to talk
Buy-
about budget
Buy
management.
a $900 Starbucks coffee maker.
Indeed,
That's
you know
the
what?
budget
Also
management
another show.
Also another show.
Or buy the $1,500 coffee maker.
And
Now it's
make
15. It
make
used to be
2 cups
900.
every morning instead of 1.
No, again, that will be. We will talk about that during the budget management show. But yes, in some senses, spending on yourself to avoid wasting money is really the key. Making sure that you get the most satisfaction out of the spending that you do without flushing the money down the toilet.
That's your budget management show. But going back to what you said, what you're saying, Jeff, is correct. But the problem is this. We have to deal with reality, and we have to deal with people's situations as they exist. And the situation, if you are married with children and you're trying to put them through college and high school and undergrad, and you're giving them lessons, whether it's dance lessons or golf lessons or whatever you're doing, baseball with your kids, unless you're making a boatload of money, it is very difficult to avoid debt.
And in fact,
And a lot of people fall into the credit card trap and end up knee deep in debt, and they need a way to get out.
and from a statistics standpoint, the amount of credit card debt out there by the end of the third quarter of 2023
Wait, drum roll.
was at $1.08 trillion. It went up $48 billion in the quarter. People are carrying 15% more debt burden on average per person than they were a year ago. And it's just going up.
Now take that 15% and say 60% of the people are still carrying zero debt. That means if the average is they're carrying 15% more on a per person per capita basis as to the people that are carrying the debt,
probably
they're probably
40.
paying 30-40% more.
Yep, it's incredible. And it's not slowing down. By the end of the year 2023 and by the end of the first quarter in 2024, it'll be even greater.
Oh, just let's say you had $20,000 of credit card debt at the end of 2019. When we come back from the break, I'll tell you what the let's say means.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Pat was recommended by a friend who insisted that we really needed a trust. And he said, I know somebody who will do a good job for you.
At Samasco Law, we deal with estate planning and trusts every day.
We had excellent service from Samasco Law. Any questions we had were addressed. Our estate is in order and it had been set up so well that nothing needed to be done. I would just highly recommend Samasco Law.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
All right, we're back. Now, I was going to say, if you had $20,000 of credit card debt at the end of 2020, at that time you were paying maybe 14% interest, and now the interest on that credit card is how much?
It's at least 5% higher, if not in the mid-20s.
Yeah. So the debt's going to go up no matter what you
Yep.
do.
Yeah.
It's
So here's a question that Kelsey asked me to ask you scholars here. At the end of the year, she's working for me. She's doing fantastic, and she has $6,500. Should she invest it, or should she pay off her high-interest student loan?
Does she have an IRA? I'd put it into an IRA
we
first.
do,
or
Max.
is she in a 401k?
She has the 401k through the office.
Okay, so she invested or pay off her student loan?
Pay down on the student loan,
The student loan is at what interest rate?
almost 9%.
She's not going to get 9% in the market.
That's what I told her.
The only reason not to pay down the student loan is if you're crossing your fingers hoping that they're going to cancel that debt, which
right.
I don't know that they're not going to cancel it for Kelsey because she's smart and she's going to earn a lot of money,
Yeah.
and she's not going to meet the income
Yeah.
criteria to get the debt canceled.
Yeah.
And her debt's too recent.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because you're the guru.
Well, it's a multifaceted answer, but the
I was
response
really
is,
hoping for a quick answer.
I know you were, but I would first
Get
make
used to
sure
it.
that she had
Get used to disappointment.
an emergency fund,
She has it.
okay,
yeah.
that she doesn't ever touch.
She's got her dad.
So she's got, her own money, an emergency fund.
If you ask my eldest
That's her
daughter, do you have an emergency fund, Amy? She'd say, my dad.
My daughter's business manager, which is my wife, says, "Oh, just get bonuses out at the end of the year." I go, "Hell no."
I didn't mean to interrupt.
So no,
Finish the
she
point.
should have an emergency fund. Everybody should have an emergency
6
fund.
months worth of bills.
Yeah. No, once you're there, you have that emergency fund. Now you should start paying down
Yeah.
debt.
I have a question on emergency fund. If you're still living at home with your parents, is your emergency fund that much lower because you don't have to have rent, or should you be factoring in a rent factor in case they throw you out?
They
That's a
say
good point.
the pundits say that you should have 6 months liquid cash in the
Of what
bank.
you're spending.
6 months salary.
Okay.
Okay.
6 months. All right. So, switching topics. Guess what today is this week?
You turn 84.
No. Guess what happened 15 years ago?
Sex change.
November 7th. So it's a little bit beyond that. We're in December.
Well, I know what happened. I was there. Does
That
Jeff
was
know?
when the start of this show occurred.
Law and
On
Reality.
It was the Financial Crisis Talk Center, the original name, on WDFN, 11:30 a.m. at 7 in the morning.
It was way too
It was
early
a
in the
2 hour.
morning.
We did it 2 hours live every morning. It was fun.
It was fun, but it was way too early in the
15
morning.
years ago.
It was the week after the GM execs flew to Washington in their private planes and caused the whole hullabaloo of the beginning of the financial crisis.
And how long does it seem like it took? How many weeks is that? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
It's amazing. What I was trying to think is if you take 15 years times 52 weeks, That's a lot of outlines.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
A lot of
At
But
least
it does
7 of
feel,
them.
but it does feel like it was just yesterday,
Yesterday,
though.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it does. So
you were a baby.
I
Did you have hair when the show
no,
started?
I did not. I haven't had hair in 25 years. Really? Give me a break. It's
You
like-
might have had dark hair.
Thank you. Thank you very
What
much.
color was yours?
Same color.
same color. Same color has been painted this week.
Hasn't changed. It was painted then and it's painted now. Okay, moving on. All right, so the goal is to get rid of the debt the fastest way at the least possible cost.
Right. So when we do that, when we're looking to do that, we look at all the tools, right?
What are the
tools
three
in the
tools?
toolbox? We have Chapter 7 bankruptcy, we have Chapter 13 bankruptcy, and we have debt resolution. And we have budget management, which is really part and parcel of all of it, because learning to live within your means it'll never happen again.
So you're saying there's 4 tools, not 3?
There's a lot of tools. There's more than just 4, but those are the 4 basics.
Okay. And how do you decide? So give me the quick rundown, if it's at all conceivably possible, to what a Chapter 7 bankruptcy involves.
So a Chapter 7 bankruptcy is debt elimination bankruptcy. Wipe out your debts, get a fresh start. Eliminate the debt that you owe, keep all or most, but it's really all of the assets that you own. You're allowed to keep your equity in your house up to, if you're disabled or over 65, we can protect $65,000 worth of equity.
What about your IRAs and your 401k?
IRAs and 401ks are 100% protected.
Isn't there a $1 million cap?
There is, but how many people have $1 million in their IRA? Very few. It's really just not there. It's more than $1 million now because it increased
is it
due
cost-
to cost of living and
But
adjustment.
think about how amazing that is. You could have $1 million in your 401k and still file bankruptcy and eliminate your debt.
Right, and
if you otherwise qualify.
And if you have a pension, you keep that, and you can keep like I said, you keep the equity in your house. You can keep your furniture, your clothing, your jewelry. It
my
really
1957 Corvette in the garage that I never drive.
maybe not. Okay, there's certain things that certain amounts that you're.
What about
limited
the
on.
boat that I wish I didn't own?
We can give that back to the bank.
Okay.
We'll walk you away from it. You know what a boat stands for, right?
What about?
Bust out another 1,000.
No, but-
Yep.
I always like that one.
It's a hole in the water you throw money into.
Are you going to say the first day and the last day are the two best days of
I'll
owning
let
a
you
boat?
do that. Those are the best days of the best owners.
What
Best
about,
days of an
what
owner's
about
life.
taxes in bankruptcy?
So income taxes.
You got a half a minute to tell us about it.
Income taxes are dischargeable in bankruptcy in Chapter 7 and in Chapter 13, as long as they came due at least 3 years ago, have been filed for at least 2 years, and you haven't been assessed in the last 8 months. So people are concerned about getting rid of debt. We can get rid of all of it. That's really what it comes down to. Even student loans are becoming dischargeable under certain circumstances now.
We're going to take a break. When you come back, tell us about how we get rid of those student loans, because that's a biggie. We'll be back after the break.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
We would just spinning. We just didn't know what was going to happen next.
At Samasco Law, we deal with these issues every day, especially elder law. Pat went to work for Fran.
Patrick was there holding my hand, kept saying, "We'll get through this, we'll get through this."
He got her husband Medicaid and in a nursing home. Samasco Law got the success they deserved.
Samasco Law is definitely family to me. I really appreciate knowing all of you.
Time for announcements. I want to announce THAV GROSS has opened a new office downriver in the Horizon building on Eureka Road. So now we're in Flint, downriver, and also our home office in Bingham Farms. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. You can do it by Zoom conference, in the office, any way that works best for you. Just call 888-235-HELP or go to the website, thavgross.com, to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat or Kelsey, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Again, sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or just call 888-235-HELP. Also, if you go to the website, you'll see there's free reports. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And The Retiree's Guide to Social Security by Pat Samasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Samasco Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Your problem.
All right, so student loans are dischargeable now?
Yes and no. Okay, so you have to be, there are new requirements that the Department of Justice is allowing for the discharge of student loans by filing an adversary complaint, a lawsuit against the student loan lender, and you have to meet certain requirements.
But who files the adversary? The Department of Justice or the student?
No, the student, the debtor in bankruptcy can file a lawsuit asking that their student loans be wiped out. And if you meet the requirements, which are still being established, we're basically 8-10 months into this procedure now on student loans being able to be discharged, and it's not a formal, it's a formal lawsuit, but it's a negotiation with the Department of Justice.
So is there almost all, what's the basic criteria? Is there one?
Well, you have to, you're below a certain income level, you likely can't repay the loans, and you've been trying to repay them for a certain period of time, and you're making no headway.
And that's all being developed right now?
Yeah, and it's exciting, but it's not a formal area of the law. So the problem that I see forthcoming is that unless Congress makes it a formal area, if we put a different party in the White House, this
is it ultimately going to be up to the judge on a case-by-case basis?
No,
that gets complicated.
No, so the law still stands. It says, it's called the Brunner test, that says that the student loans are very, very difficult to eliminate. This is a negotiation based on what the Biden administration has told the Department of Justice to do. So that may go away.
I see a combination there, though. because the concept of very, very is words that come from the Trump administration.
This is true. But the fact is that there's an opportunity now. It may eliminate, it may become
So
more
this
allowed.
applies to Chapter 7 and Chapter 13?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about Chapter 13. You told us about Chapter 7. We got a couple minutes left. Chapter 13 and debt resolution. Give us a
So
basics
Chapter
on that.
13 is restructured. You restructure your debt. You figure out what you can afford to repay, and you pay it on a monthly basis.
What's the single most basic reason why Chapter 13 is important?
Well, Chapter 13 will allow you to stop the foreclosure of a home and let you repay what you can afford, and gives you 5 years to catch up.
So I'm 9 months behind on my mortgage. I file a Chapter 13.
You get 5 years to catch up.
On the 9 months I'm behind.
Yeah.
When do I have to file that case by? Do you know?
No.
When?
Before the sale.
There
That's
you
correct,
go.
before the sheriff's
A
sale.
plus for
You know where I
Pat.
learned that?
Here.
Here.
Yep.
Hey,
Did you know that?
It did.
was there a big rush after the COVID moratoriums against that? Did you guys see a big rush to the court?
No.
So actually,
Because the government gave everybody so much money that they didn't have to worry about
it was a combination of government money and forbearance programs that caused the foreclosures stayed, and there was also a moratorium on foreclosures for an additional year after all that COVID money ran out. Now you're seeing significant numbers of foreclosures
back.
happening, and
They spent their money. What about evictions and stuff? Was that a big push?
All of it we thought was going to be major issues, but there was so much money pumped into the system that those really were not.
and there were there was a lot of relief for
It's all
renters.
hitting
Everybody.
now because all that stored up cash is gone.
Oh, it's gone.
It was spent with the euphoria of being done with COVID, going on vacations, buying cars.
Remember-
and now you've got then inflation came, and now you got the credit cards. And
I was
now
going
you
to say,
got the
remember, there
problems.
was we were down to $700 billion for the credit card debt in the middle of 2021.
Now it's practically
It's over $1 trillion
It's going to
now.
double in probably 2 more quarters.
Just like
Well,
the
it
US
won't
debt.
double, but it'll
It'll
go.
double from. It'll get to 1.4. Not that. We went from 700 to 1.08.
Yeah.
It's going to get to 1.4, 1.5, and then the bubble's going to bust. So the bottom line here is you got Chapter 7, you got Chapter 13. If 13 is
There's a-
too costly, there's
we got-
also debt resolution.
Right, where we
which-
settle the debts for pennies on the dollar. Whatever works best for you is the program we're going to find for you.
And now go back to sum it up, the 3-point retirement plan. The point is, to get to the 3-point retirement plan successfully, you can't carry this debt into your 40s and your 50s forever. You got to get rid of it. You need to take action.
And it's smart to get
the
rid of
smart
it,
thing to
even
do.
if you're in your 60s and 70s and 80s. It's
always
debt, it's
smart.
cancer. Get
On
rid
that
of it.
word, we'll say thank you for listening and watching. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.